Hello, everybody.
And welcome to Atheist Sunday School, your one-stop shop for everything Atheist Sunday and school. Wow, we've got that down pretty well.
Yeah, we're pretty good at this.
Yeah, we're basically experts at Atheist Sunday School.
Yeah, we're fucking amazing at this show.
So what kind of question do you have for your 100 points question today?
No, actually I didn't. But I feel like I might use one of these.
Don't use one of those. Use something better.
Okay, fine. I'll use something better. Who wrote... And yes, this is a good one. Who wrote The Bible Unearthed? A semi-recently published book on biblical archaeology.
Ehrman.
No.
Okay,
But nice try,
that's
though.
my only guess.
Okay.
Who did it?
It was some dude named Israel Finkelstein.
Israel Finkelstein.
Yeah.
Well, that's a name. All right, for my 100 points question, what Greek philosopher demonstrated the first actual recorded understanding of archaeology as not archaeology? I'm sick. Don't count it against me. Agriculture as
so different
as it applies to olive presses.
To olive presses?
Yep.
Wow. All right, good luck, Lars.
I'm gonna go with Plato.
No. But Plato was a 3-time Olympic gold medalist in wrestling.
That's weird.
Yeah. The answer is Thales.
Okay.
Everybody said, if you're so wise, then why aren't you rich? So he was the first person to figure out weather patterns, and basically he was like, all right, these fields are going to be super prosperous. These ones are. I'm going to invest in them. Yeah.
Okay,
And
well
he got
that
super
worked.
rich.
Yeah. All right. So that's the 100-point show. And
now announcements.
Yes. Now to announcements.
We're reaching 5K.
No, we already reached it.
We reached 5K.
Yes, we have reached 5,000 subscribers. It took us far longer than I'm proud of, but we have reached it, and it is awesome. So thank you so much. Especially, I want to give a big hello to all of our new subscribers.
Yeah, hi new subscribers. You
Because-
guys are fresh.
In the past 3 days, the past 36 hours, we have gained about 300 subscribers
Yeah.
because of
that Nicaea video.
The Nicaea video. Holy shit.
Yeah.
The payoff for that one was really great. I worked for about a month on that Nicaea video. And I was talking to Chris about this earlier.
Dude, yeah.
A month. It was research. It was reading some of the driest shit you could imagine.
And
These,
then
like,
that one
big
guy pops
theology-
up and he's like, "What's your evidence?"
Dude, that guy was like... He's like, what are your sources? You don't even have sources. Like, they're all in the description. Calm the fuck down. Yeah, but he just ended up being one of those conspiracy nuts. Or a troll, yeah, but
We should get him on Atheist Sunday School.
we're not gonna. No, we're not doing this.
What if he gives you $50?
If he gives us
If
$50,
he gives us $50, then yes.
Yeah, then yeah, he can be on the show.
Yeah, we can talk about it then. So because we reached 5K, we are planning a special.
Special.
Yes. Now, I am unsure of what exactly we're going to have at going on in this special, but for special guests, we might, and I say might, what are you doing?
I don't know. I'm walking over here.
Okay.
Let's just stand here for now.
All right, well, he's going to stand there for now.
I mean, I don't have to change until we talk about something else.
All right, anyways. So for special guests, we have possibly Logicked. I'm sure you guys know Logicked. He's awesome. We are possibly going to have Aaron Raw and Richard Carrier. We're going to try to get a bunch of people into this. It's going to be a lot of fun. We might hold a game show, but we're not sure exactly what kind of game show. We want to do Wheel of Something, but we're not sure.
Of something.
Yes, we're not sure what the something is going to be.
Blasphemy or heresy.
Heresy, Wheel of Heresy,
We
Wheel.
could steal the wheel of money.
From Whitest Kids You Know skits.
Or, you know, the sheep in the big city wheel, where it was just like one tiny little sliver that allows you to progress, and the rest of it had you roll again.
No, I have plenty of chairs. I just didn't want to roll one over here.
Right.
I was just checking, and I like to see what's going on.
Yeah, he likes to
Yeah.
stroll around here. So what we really want to do is go over old videos of ours. Videos that we made years ago, not on this channel, on other channels.
Yes.
I want to go over some of the really old cringy shit we've done in the past.
There's a video that Chris made called
Why I Hate the Holy Days. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's all sorts of cringe. We're also going to do a t-shirt giveaway. And one of the thoughts on this t-shirt giveaway, to decide the winner, it is going to be an Atheist Sunday School test. That's a possibility. It might just be a comment contest, but maybe there's...
what we had like in...
No, I know. It might just be just a comment contest. We're not sure yet, but as a thought, it's going to be an Atheist Sunday School test, and we're going to give you a fucking test on all the stuff that we have covered.
And 100-point questions.
And no, not 100 points.
They're bonus points.
Bonus points.
You get bonus points at the end of one of the random 100-point questions.
Yeah, bonus points for 100-point questions. T-shirt giveaway, old videos, and we also want to do a preview for a fake TV show that we're not going to do, but it's going to be formatted like a movie preview. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be a preview for the Narcissistic Nihilist show.
The Narcissistic Nihilist show. This is Chris's baby.
Yeah, this is Chris's baby. So I think it's going to be pretty funny, and depending on the viewer response, we might turn it into a real thing. But that's all in there. If you guys have any ideas for what we should do on the special, if you guys want to see something, definitely let us know.
Yeah.
We're open to that stuff.
We'd like any and all suggestions from you, our noble viewers.
Yes. And we got quite a bit of people here. Thank you so much for being here, guys.
Yep.
And before we get into the show, I have covered...
It's white.
Yeah, well, shut up, Chris.
Well, now that we have 5,000 subscribers, I am officially declaring you the first 5,000 our inner circle.
Yep, the inner circle.
Yep.
You're the OGs.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm just going to quickly go over Patreon stuff.
Patreon stuff.
New people. And you know what? I like the way our Patreon is set up right now. $1 or more a month, you get access to behind-the-scenes footage, and all Milwaukee Atheists video scripts will be viewable. So you can just open up one of those, Control F, find whatever you need in these tomes of literature. $5 or more, you get the previous rewards, plus you get a copy of all books a member of Milwaukee Atheist publishes. So you will get a copy of the book I have already out, and you will be getting a copy of the book that I am currently writing, of Heathens and Heresy.
Which I'll be editing.
Yes.
Oh, we got a subscriber.
We did?
We did?
All right.
Welcome,
Whoever
it is.
Craig Marks.
Marks?
Thank you, Craig Marks, for abandoning God.
Wow, welcome.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you're not part of the inner circle.
You missed the code.
You missed it.
All right. Then $10 or more, you get the previous rewards, plus your name on the credit roll of all the videos you helped sponsor that month, and entrance into a monthly t-shirt giveaway. Right now, we only have one person that is over $10 a month, so they will be getting all the t-shirts until there is competition.
Yeah.
And then $20 or more a month, weekly hangout with the team to discuss video ideas and other topics. And you get free tickets to any future events we hold, lodging and transportation not included. And then $50 or more a month, you get a special shout out in a video you helped sponsor that month, and you get to join us as a guest on one of these Atheist Sunday School streams that month.
Yes.
So those are the Patreon rewards. The link is in the description. And today we are continuing the Deuteronomistic Law Code.
Absolutely.
Yes, this was the core around which the rest of Deuteronomy was written.
And if you are a new visitor or an old-time subscriber,
What's the name?
Still Waters.
Still Waters.
Still Waters.
Still Waters, thank you for
Welcome.
abandoning God.
But if you are a new subscriber or an old subscriber, then visit us on MilwaukeeAtheist.com and chat up all of our forums.
Yep, MilwaukeeAtheist.com.
Yes.
All right, so we can. I'm going to be starting the reading today because Ruben, as you can see, has the Black Plague.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I find that racist. I have the plague of color. Thank you very much.
And I think we should get a plague doctor in here.
Yes.
I love those masks.
Well, you know, the beak, actually, they would, like, shove a whole bunch of herbs and shit in there because they thought that because it smelled
Oh yeah, because it was the
fresh.
bad air, right?
Yeah, it's the
They
bad
thought-
A
air.
crazy mask and some idols to shake at him.
No,
Oh,
please don't do that, Chris.
Oh, man.
We don't want to see your idols.
Besides which, we
blasphemy.
have to follow the rules of this bullshit book. So if you show us idols,
Yeah,
we
that's
have
bad.
to destroy them.
We have to destroy them.
Aw,
Those are the
man.
rules.
Yeah.
Those are the rules, Chris.
Oh, shit.
So this week, Lawrence is reading first. I have the King James Version of the Bible here.
And I have the English Standard Version. We also have the Old Testament survey from the New Interpreter's Bible as a reference in case we need it. And then we have the Oxford Companion to the Bible.
Which has proved
Chris,
to be
if you
so
wanna-
useful.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll switch to you.
Yeah.
So
This has been useful once.
once.
Um,
Exactly once.
Exactly one time. And then we have these other Bibles, the Holy Scriptures.
In
I don't give a
accordance
shit.
with the Masoretic text.
Yeah, and these are just kind of extras just in case we're confused on reading. And then the New King James Version,
Yeah. Which is basically the same as the King James Version.
just a little more modernized.
a little more neutered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start the reading off with chapter 17. Dun dun.
Wow, you said that and then it showed up. That's perfect.
You shall not sacrifice to the Lord your God an ox or a sheep in which is a blemish, any defect whatever, for that is an abomination to the Lord.
Mine says, you shall not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God any bullock or sheep wherein is blemish or any evil favoredness.
Any evil favoredness. Is that how they view... I wonder what the actual... Pull it up. I wonder what the actual translation, what the closer translation is. Because I don't know biblical Hebrew. But, sorry, that's in the plan. So,
Good.
yeah.
He'll learn it eventually, and if he doesn't, just harass him until he does.
Just harass me.
And why haven't you learned biblical Hebrew yet?
But is that how they viewed things with blemishes?
Well,
as
mine
evil?
says, thou shalt not sacrifice unto the Lord thy God an ox or a sheep wherein is a blemish, even any evil thing.
Okay,
So
that's
the
probably more
blemish
likely.
counts as an evil thing. Right.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Damn blemishes and their
So evil.
evilness. If there is found among you within any of your towns that the Lord your God is giving you, a man or woman who does what is evil in the sight of the Lord your God, in transgressing his covenant, and has gone and served other gods and worshipped them, or the sun or the moon, or any of the host of heaven, which I have forbidden. Oh, which I have forbidden.
Mine
and-
says, which I have not commanded.
Which I have not commanded.
So, I mean, if you're a King
Anything
James literalist, then you will literally say anything that isn't covered in the
Yeah.
Bible is immoral.
Yes, and no, and in this case, anything that's not commanded. Okay, so I mean they're almost the same, but yeah, definitely there is a philosophical difference there.
Yes.
And it is told. Wait, and it is told you, and you hear of it, then you. That's weird. Then you shall inquire diligently, and if it is-
Behold.
wait, what?
And says, and behold.
Yours says behold?
Yeah.
Behold!
Behold.
Yeah. That's sad for me. And if
Missed out on like 5.
I know. And if it is true and certain that such an abomination has been done in Israel, then you shall bring out to your gates that man or woman who has done this evil thing, and you shall stone that man or woman to death with stones.
Till they die.
on the evidence of 2 witnesses or of 3 witnesses, the one who is to die shall be put to death. A person shall not be put to death on the evidence of 1 witness. The hand of the witness shall be the first against him to put him to death, and afterward the hand of all the people. So you shall purge the evil from your midst.
So this is another part where Jesus doesn't agree with the...
Right. That's exactly the whole... yeah, that was never really covered specifically.
Right. Well, let he who has not sinned cast the first stone, but...
You have to remember, that was in reference to adultery.
Right. But am I to assume that they have different orders of who stones first?
Shit, they might.
They might. Because from here, it would appear that the first person to throw the stone is the person who accuses them.
Yeah, that's
Which,
what it sounds like.
if you think about it, is a little more moral than just having a bunch of people get together and throw stones.
But then, but after the first person throws it, then the rest of the town throws it.
Right.
You know, they're being progressive, guys.
Yeah.
So, where was I?
Is this D?
What?
Who's the author for this?
D.
Oh, it's D.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's not
This-
P for progressive.
It's P for progressive. If any case arises requiring decision between one kind of homicide and another, one kind of legal right and another, or one kind of assault and another, any case within your town that is too difficult for you, then you shall arise and go up to the place that the Lord your God will choose, and you shall come to the Levitical priests and to the judge who is in office in those days, and you shall consult them, and they shall declare to you the decision. Then it's like a Supreme Court kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it just goes to a higher court. Then you shall do according to what they declare to you from that place that the Lord will choose, and you shall be careful to do according to all that they direct you, according to the instructions that they give you, and according to the decision which they pronounce to you, you shall do. You shall not turn aside from the verdict that they declare to you, either to the right hand or to the left. The man who acts presumptuously by not obeying the priest who stands to minister there before the Lord your God, or the judge, that man shall die. You shall purge the evil from Israel, and all the people shall hear and fear and not act presumptuously again.
Wow.
Yeah,
You know
Wow.
what they say about assuming?
makes an ass out of you and me.
No, it gets you killed.
Oh,
Wow.
makes an atheist Sunday school out of you and me.
Yeah.
Wait.
What?
Assuming makes an atheist Sunday school out of you and
Makes
me?
an ass out of you and me. Ass, atheist.
Yes. I'm
Yes.
a T-shirt.
Oh, okay.
Is that a good idea for a T-shirt?
I don't
No,
know.
I think it's a terrible idea for a T-shirt.
Okay, Chris asks, is that a good idea for a T-shirt?
Would you buy?
I don't think so. That makes
that
you sound
T-shirt.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you come to the land that the Lord your God is giving you, and you possess it and dwell in it, and then say, I will set a king over me, like all the nations that are around me, you may indeed set a king over you whom the Lord your God will choose. One from among your brothers you shall set as king over you. You may not put a foreigner over you, who is not your brother.
So that's interesting. That if someone wants to be like a politician, it has to be a decision made by God.
Right.
Which is to say that the Judeo-Christian religion strictly stands against democracy.
Or just,
Absolutely.
or
And it's
separation of church and state at least.
Well, of
And-
course, separation
and
of
it's
church
very
and state.
much it's by definition theocratic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
the
even
people,
further.
The people have no control whatsoever.
No, has to be ordained by God.
Yeah.
You see the way this is interpreted is you have to put them into office, but God has to tell you who to put into office.
Wow.
At least that's how I'm reading it. Only he must not acquire many horses for himself, or cause the people to turn to Egypt in order to acquire many horses. Like specifically Egypt.
Yeah,
Don't
fuck
go
Egypt.
there. Since the Lord has said to you, you shall never return that way again. And he shall not acquire many wives for himself. Let his heart turn away, nor shall he acquire for himself excessive silver and gold. Now, this is probably in reference to Solomon, because Solomon had many wives,
Right.
and according to the story, he was very rich, very prosperous regime, which, by the way, all archaeology disagrees with. It seems like there were decent-sized civilizations that were probably run by David and possibly Solomon as well. But they were never as big, as rich as the Bible describes it to be. But this is probably in reference to that, because later they viewed Solomon as wicked.
No, I'm not sure if that's correct, because in both of these translations, it says that neither shall he multiply wives to himself, which may mean that you shouldn't.
Incest.
Right.
Then marry all your daughters.
Right, because, I mean, polygamy is strictly the thing that people do in the Bible. Like,
Yeah.
not just from here on, but...
Right.
like,
It just happens
throughout.
plenty of times in the Bible.
Yeah. So maybe they're saying that you shouldn't take your daughters as wives.
Yeah. Maybe. That's a translation issue right there.
Yeah.
Where the fuck was I? And when he sits on the throne of his kingdom, he shall write for himself in a book a copy of this law, approved by the Levitical priests, and it shall be with him, and he shall read it in all the days of his life, that he may learn to fear the Lord his God by keeping all the words of this law and these statutes, and doing them, that his heart may not be lifted up above his brothers. Shut up, Reuben. And
Suck a fart out of my ass, Lawrence.
and that he may not turn aside from the commandment, either to the right hand or to the left, so that he may continue long in his kingdom, he and his children in Israel. So this is probably what got King Josiah very invested in doing his big religious reform. That was probably the thing. Like, he was probably reading through this law code, and then the book is telling him, "You're always going to listen to this book," and he's like, "Damn right, I'm always going to listen to this book."
Yeah. Well, that's the end of chapter 17. If you're enjoying the stream so far, give it a like. It helps us out.
It helps us so much. If the more engagement, the better.
Yeah.
It is a lot of help.
Yeah. And share it around. Neighbors, friends, ex-girlfriends. Yeah, always ex-girlfriends.
Never forget sharing it.
You know, if you constantly send Atheist Sunday School links to your ex-girlfriend, is that considered malevolent or benevolent?
I'm not sure.
Well, anyways, chapter 18. I will begin reading here. I got a bit of a cold, so deal with it. The priests, the Levites, and all the tribe of Levi shall have no part nor inheritance with Israel. They shall eat the offerings of the Lord made by fire and his inheritance. Therefore they shall have no inheritance among their brethren. The Lord is their inheritance, as he hath said unto them. So this gets brought up a number of times, that the Lord is the inheritance of the Levites.
Yeah, now what does that mean
So
exactly?
presumably within a theocratic system like this, that would mean that they're, more of a chosen group, right?
Yeah.
Because they obviously would have a closer relationship with God than any other group.
Which is weird, because they weren't part of the... Wait, were they? Am I thinking of the Levites? Yeah, I'm thinking of the Levites. At least the way it was presented by their opponents in P, in like all of Leviticus, pretty much.
Right.
That they were the bottom rung.
Yeah. Whereas, it clearly defines them as something separate.
Yeah, it was specifically the way this is constructed. Was you have Deuteronomy, and then you get J and E, although E, I've read up on some recent scholarship, it's debatable that there was an E. But, so you have at least the J text, And then you have P later looking at this stuff and being like, this doesn't go to my standards.
Yeah.
So he wrote his own thing.
Right, but this is the original.
But it does present two conflicting views of how the Levites should be seen.
Right. And this shall be the priest's due from the people, from them that offer a sacrifice, whether it be ox or sheep, and they shall give unto the priest the shoulder, and the 2 cheeks, and the maw.
The maw? I have the stomach.
Oh, I have the maw.
Okay. I think stomach makes more sense.
Yeah. Well, I guess they make it kind of haggis. The first fruit also of thy corn, of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the first of the fleece of thy sheep, thou shalt give him. For the Lord thy God hath chosen him out of all thy tribes to stand to minister in the name of the Lord, him and his sons forever. And if a Levite come from any of thy gates out of Israel, where he sojourned, and come with all the desire of his mind unto the place which the Lord shall choose, then he shall minister in the name of the Lord his God, as all his brethren the Levites do, which stand there before the Lord. So basically, it's kind of like the Buddhist monk thing, where, if you're a Buddhist monk, you're not expected to get your own food. You're expected to go out and do alms, do your walk while ringing a bell, and people come out and put rice in your bowl.
Is that how that goes?
Yeah. And it seems like they're encouraging something similar, where if a Levite leaves his town and goes traveling throughout Israel, he can preach on the street corner and beg, and people are obligated to give them food.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Where was I? Okay. They shall have like portions to eat beside that which cometh of the sale of his patrimony. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you anyone that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. So they're very specific here. I wonder how they feel.
Does that verse end with necromancer for you?
Yeah.
Because I have, or one who inquires of the dead.
Right, well, that's what a necromancer is.
No. Mine also has necromancer.
Right. Well, that's strange. So
it just adds a definition.
So essentially, pass through the fire, that's just saying not to sacrifice your children to Moloch again.
Yeah.
Divination.
Although this is specifically by burning. This looks like it's specifically by fire.
Right.
Although later we do, in fact, see child sacrifice in the Bible.
Right.
We'll get to that.
Here's what's interesting is that we know that Deuteronomy was written first.
Yeah.
Right.
At least from the Torah, yeah.
Yeah, they specifically call out divination as something that people should not do, or observing times. That's exactly what Joseph does in Genesis.
Exactly. I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
I was gonna when they were talking about mediums or interpreters or people who tell fortunes and shit. I was like, but that's exactly what the dude did before.
In fact, they pretty much go out of their way to demonstrate that it's a good thing if you can do that.
Right.
But here they're like, no, don't do it. For all that do these are an abomination unto all that do these.
All that do them.
So Joseph included.
Joseph, you're a piece of shit.
Fuck you, Joseph.
Don't talk to the dad.
And,
oh, yeah.
And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy God. Don't fuck up. Not even once. For these nations which thou shalt possess hearken unto observers of times, and unto diviners. But as for thee, the Lord thy God hath not suffered thee to do so, unless you're Joseph, or any number of people who show up later on in this book. The Lord thy God will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, like unto me, unto him ye shall hearken. So, whenever a prophet shows up, they're supposed to get the same amount of respect that Moses gets.
No, they're saying here that a new prophet will come up. I think this is in reference to a specific one.
Who is it, me?
I don't know. We'll get to that.
Well, if...
there are a few more prophets that come in. In fact, there's an entire section of Old Testament books labeled as the prophets.
Like Joshua.
Yeah.
Which we cover next.
Yeah. That's probably the one that they were talking about.
Right. Well, I think that given the...
Foreshadowing.
Given the actual circumstances that are being talked about, he's like, don't go to these diviners and enchanters to figure out the future. The Lord will send a prophet.
Okay.
Right? Which is to say that at any given time, the Lord will send a prophet.
Yeah, it could be at any time.
Right.
No one takes him seriously nowadays.
According to all that thou desirest, actually, it's funny. People take, like, tarot card readings more seriously than they do people who are like, God spoke to me.
Which is really weird,
Yeah.
because I think they have the exact same probability of being accurate.
Exactly the same.
Whatever chances.
Except maybe you can make up a good bullshit story with the tarot cards.
You can make up a good bullshit story with the God talk to me thing.
Well, if you actually hallucinated and you were just like delivering the contents
look at
of
how
your
good,
hallucination.
look at how well this bullshit story went.
It's a terrible story. What are you talking about?
But a lot of people believe it.
Well, they've never read it.
You better
I know.
believe it.
I know.
According to all that thou desirest of the Lord thy God in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, Let me not hear again this voice of the Lord my God, neither let me see this great fire any more, that I die not. And the Lord said unto me, They have well spoken that which they have spoken. Actually, I was thinking, you know Indiana Jones?
I know of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, when they get the Ark of the Covenant.
Okay.
And they open it up at the end.
Yeah.
And all the Nazis, like all the spirits are released and the Nazis' flesh melts off.
Yeah.
Indy is there. Indy must be a descendant of the Aaronid priesthood because he isn't killed. And only the Aaronid priests can look upon the contents of the Ark, right?
Yeah.
Right. So Indiana Jones, Aaronid priest.
Okay.
That's just the thing that I wanted
That's
to
some
bring
good
up.
fan fiction you got going there.
Well, it's the only biblical explanation.
Needed that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we needed, a biblical explanation.
And the Lord said unto me, They have well spoken that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth. And he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. Again, going against that whole free will thing. And it shall come to pass that whatsoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. So again, no free will. But the prophet which shall presume...
Or at least a lot of coercion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
certainly. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, now as we know, if you presume anything, you have to get killed. The prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the names of other gods, even that prophet shall die. And if thou say in thine heart, How shall we know the word of which the Lord hath not spoken? When a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken. So if the prophet guesses and he's correct, then it's God. But if he's incorrect,
Right, yeah, very, very ad hoc.
but the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously, that is the thing which the Lord hath not spoken, but the prophet hath spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him. So that's the end of chapter 18. If you're enjoying the stream, send it to the children that your ex-wife is keeping you from seeing.
Yeah, if you're enjoying the stream, drop a like. Really helps us out.
Yeah.
Subscribe if you haven't. All that good stuff.
And Lawrence, you can continue with chapter 19 here.
Yes, I can. And I just flipped the page without
Getting a good
Without doing that, yeah.
stretch.
All right, you have that nice stretch.
Ah, yeah. It's like yoga.
When the Lord your God cuts off the nations whose land the Lord your God is giving you. Wait. When the Lord your God cuts off the nations. Oh, so when he destroys those nations. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, kill him.
Yeah. And you dispossess them and dwell in their cities and in their houses. You shall set apart 3 cities. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, and Jesus is Lord. It says this is worse than Thomas Jefferson's exegesis of the scripture. We're literally just reading the scripture word for word. There's no way to misinterpret what we're saying.
Well, this is the book, and you could always present an argument for why your interpretation is better than ours, and that's fine.
Or why this book is incorrect. Jesus is Lord. If you want to do that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And by the way, when it comes to classes on this stuff, I'm going to be going to school for religious studies, but other than that, I've probably read more scholarship than you've ever heard of. So
Yeah,
I'm just going to say that.
All week on that.
Yeah.
And I have a degree in academic philosophy. So
If he does, that's a thing. All right.
I think I can read.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Continue.
you shall set apart 3 cities for yourselves in the land that the Lord your God is giving you to possess. You shall measure the distances and divide into 3 parts the area of the land that the Lord your God gives you as a possession, so that any manslayer can flee to them. This is the provision for the manslayer, who by fleeing there may save his life. If anyone kills his neighbor unintentionally without having hated him in the past, so if it's not premeditated,
Yeah.
as when someone goes into the forest with his neighbor to cut wood, and his hand swings the axe to cut down a tree, and the head slips from the handle and strikes his neighbor so that he dies.
This is a very specific
circumstance. This is really specific. They were like, okay.
Whoops!
I feel like there was some dude who went out and killed someone else in the woods and was just like, no, it slipped. It's like, come on, guys. You got to add that into the book.
I am
Save me from this.
I am convinced just by reading this that the dude who wrote this had this happen to him, and somebody thought he committed murder. And he was like, I swear it slipped. And this was the first example of non-premeditated murder he could think of.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. He may flee to one of these cities and live, lest the avenger of blood in hot anger pursue the manslayer and overtake him, because the way is long, and strike him fatally. Though the man did not deserve to die, since he had not hated his neighbor in the past. Therefore I command you, you shall set apart 3 cities. And if the Lord your God enlarges your territory, as he has sworn to your fathers, and gives you all the land that he promised to give to your fathers, provided you are careful to keep all his commandments, which I command you today, by loving the Lord your God, and by walking ever in his ways. Then you shall add 3 cities to these 3, lest innocent blood be shed in your land that the Lord your God is giving you for an inheritance, and so the guilt of bloodshed be upon you. But if anyone hates his neighbor, and lies in wait for him, and attacks him, and strikes him fatally so that he dies, and he flees into one of these cities, then the elders of the city shall send and take him from there, and hand him over to the avenger of blood, so that he may die.
See, this is, I think, more just.
It is more just, but because I doubt they had a good method of knowing what actually happened.
Oh, yeah, you basically are like, oh, I don't like this guy, so, you know.
Let's just say he did this on purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
Like-
you know, I do think that if you want to pursue someone legally so that they do get killed, you bear moral responsibility for that person's death, for better or worse. And that you should be willing to therefore be the person who kills them, because there's no difference. And if you're not comfortable killing them yourself, then you don't actually care enough about it to get them killed.
Right, yeah. You just want to kind of join in to any drama that's going around.
Yeah.
You just want to drink out of the drama pot.
Yeah, the meat of poetry.
You shall not pity him, but you shall purge the guilt of innocent blood from Israel, so that it may be well with you. You shall, and this is because since mine is broken up, not like the KJV, mine has like
Titled
titles.
sections.
Yeah, this one is just one verse, and it says property boundaries. You shall not move your neighbor's landmark, which the men of old have set, in the inheritance that you will hold in the land that the Lord your God is giving you to possess. So whatever boundaries were set before, stay that way.
Yeah.
That's the one rule here. Oh, okay. I guess Chris is in the chat.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Cool. A single witness shall not suffice against the person for any crime or for any wrong in connection with any offense that he has committed. Only on the evidence of 2 witnesses or of 3 witnesses shall a charge be established. If a malicious witness arises to accuse a person of wrongdoing, then both parties to the dispute shall appear before the Lord, before the priests and the judges who are in the office in those days. The judges shall inquire diligently, and if the witness is a false witness and has accused his brother falsely, then you shall do to him as he had meant to do to his brother. So you shall purge the evil from your midst, and the rest shall hear and fear, and shall never again commit any such evil among you. Your eye shall not pity. It shall be life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, and foot for foot.
Again?
Oh, thanks. Well, this is interesting here because, in a way, Islam is more progressive than what's presented here. Because, specifically, the only witnesses who can come forward are men. They specify then both the men between whom the controversy is, right? Whereas
point.
in Islam, if you can't get 2 witnesses who are male, you can get 1 witness who's male and 2 witnesses who are female, because a woman's witness is worth half
Right,
of what a man's witness.
just like their price to
Right. Right.
buy. Right.
Women,
Which
half off only
at
now.
least they
Half off.
allow women to testify.
Buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
This is
Obviously.
a terrible fucking book.
Yeah.
Bad example for children and learning people.
Oh, well, they literally make fake Bibles to give to children where they
all those
water down
kids'
everything.
Bibles, and it's like, oh, and like they say that God, when talking about the flood or something, they say that God made all the evil go away, and that's like, wow, that's so nicely worded. When what they don't tell you is that he murdered everybody.
Yeah. Well, also, they'll give you a glance over stories like Jonah and the whale.
Yeah.
But they will never tell you any of the details about anything. And then people go out and they're like, oh, I believe in the Bible, when they've never actually read the stories. And the stories that they've read are misinterpretations.
They're either misinterpretations or they're watered down, or if they learned them in church, they are specifically cherry-picked
Yeah.
to just include all the good stuff.
Yeah.
Or when they go over it, it's a basic synopsis and then the one verse the priest at the time likes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they talk about the stories not as the way they are, but as a, what's the word I'm looking for? As a romanticized version of them.
Yeah. Which obviously is not what's written.
Yeah, that's not what's written. I think when you're talking about anything you think is the Word of God, you should probably cover it pretty well.
Yeah, you should definitely not, skimp out on the details.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of matters.
Especially given that the rules never change and that you're supposed to follow them forever.
Yeah. But, of course, that all changed with Jesus.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, let's go into chapter 20 then. If you're enjoying the stream so far, give it a like, share it around,
Yes, definitely. For the 17 people watching, that's a pretty good number for us.
Yeah.
Definitely drop a like if you guys are enjoying the stream.
Yeah, and if you are one of our new subscribers, check out our Patreon. There's tons of cool goodies.
Yes.
So, chapter 20. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots, and a people more than thou, Be not afraid of them, for the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be, when ye are come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto all the people, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint. Fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them. For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you, to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. And the officers shall speak unto the people, saying, What man is there that hath built a new house, and hath not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. So you have to say specifically, this is my property, so that it can get passed down in inheritance.
Yeah.
Unless you're a Levite.
You are illegal.
Yeah. And what man is he that hath planted a vineyard, and hath not yet eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eat it. And what man is there that hath betrothed a wife, and hath not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her. And the officers shall...
So before battle, you have to... This is kind of like get your affairs in order kind of thing.
Yeah, declare your property.
Make sure you eat of your fruit.
Eat the fruits of your labor.
Yeah.
And fuck your wife.
Yeah. That's all the good stuff.
Which, of course, the professional boxers will say that women make the legs weak.
Do they say that?
Yeah, they do, actually, because if you go longer without sexual release, it actually increases testosterone free running through the body.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you shouldn't have sex with your wife
Or
before you go
masturbate.
into battle. Or masturbate.
That's
Right.
awful.
Well, you should never masturbate. If your seed spills on the ground, you die.
Right.
And the officers shall speak...
Smite me, O mighty smiter.
Smite me, O mighty smiter. Now that was a good one.
Yeah.
And the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, What man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return to his house, lest his brethren's heart faint as well as his heart. And it shall be, when the officers have made an end of speaking to the people, that they shall make captains of the armies to lead the people. When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. And it shall be, if it make the answer of peace, and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. So, if the town gives up when they see your army coming, then you can just take them as slaves.
Yeah.
Right. But at least they don't die.
Yeah. That was like a whole thing. Like when I was talking about biblical slavery with my grandparents, they were like, "Well, what are you supposed to do with them?"
Well, let them go.
Like fuck it, and then their excuses, but that they're gonna come back and kill you. It's like, well, that's what you fucking get for killing them.
Yeah. I mean, all these tribes out here who are in this land, they have no idea about some bullshit army that's gonna pop up and kill all of them. They're just sitting back trying to farm.
Right. Well, at this point, there was already there was already one takeover. Mm-hmm. So they were already, they had an army. They were defeated.
But of course, this isn't what Abraham does in his battle.
No, not at all.
No, he just lets them go. He takes the gold that they offer him and makes sure that everyone was safe who was involved, which is more reasonable than taking them as slaves.
Yeah. This is how people justify slavery.
Right.
It's fucking awful.
Yeah. And if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, then thou shalt besiege it. And when the Lord thy God hath delivered it into thy hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. But the woman and the little ones, and the cattle, and all that's in the city, even all the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself. and thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. Thus thou shalt do unto all the cities which are very far off from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations. Oh, so specifically, you're supposed to do it everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just the land of Israel. It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Every city you come across either surrenders to you and you take them as slaves, or you kill them all and you besiege the city. Every city.
Good Christian morals.
Good Christian morals.
I'm learning.
I'm learning.
So here comes Moses the warlord.
Yep, this is where that comes in. This is where that starts to shine through,
Yeah.
because he was worshipped as a war god as well as a god of fire and thunder.
Yes?
Yeah,
Well, Yahweh specifically is
yeah,
a war
Yahweh
god.
specifically.
Yeah.
This kind of ushered in that whole Yahweh alone movement.
Yeah. But the cities of these people, which the Lord thy God doth give thee for an inheritance, thou shalt save alive nothing that breatheth. So this land, not lands that you're invading later on, but this stuff that
this
was
land,
promised, just kill them all. But thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites and the Amorites, the Canaanites and the Perizzites, the Hivites and the Jebusites, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee, that they teach you not to do after all their abominations, which they have done unto their gods. So should ye sin against the Lord your God. So just kill them all so that you never learn how to do their religion. When thou shalt besiege a city a long time in making war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by forcing an axe against them, for thou mayest eat of them, and thou shalt not cut them down, for the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them in the siege. Only the trees which thou knowest that they be not trees for meat, so not fruit-bearing trees, thou shalt destroy and cut them down, and thou shalt build bulwarks against the city that maketh war with thee until it be subdued.
So until they give up, keep going.
Yeah. Once they give up, well, no, they don't
Not
get
even
another
give up
option to
until
give
they're
up
just destroyed.
until they're all dead.
That's true.
Well, this is what the Bible says: kill everyone who doesn't believe in your religion,
Or enslave them.
or enslave
enslave
them.
them.
If they give up, you get to enslave them. If they don't give up, you get to kill them. This is Christian morality, everyone.
This is the law of Deuteronomy.
Dude.
The law that is specifically not subject to ever change.
Right, specifically.
Yeah.
And that's the end of chapter 20. If you're enjoying it so far, give it a like, share it around, pass it around like a
Yep.
bottle of hobo wine in a jail cell. And Lawrence, you can begin with chapter 21
Yes,
when you're ready.
I'll be going with chapter 21. If in the land that the Lord your God is giving you to possess someone is found slain, lying in the open country, and it is not known who killed him, then your elders and your judges shall come out, and they what?
Hold on. Deuteronomy 20 has to be contextualized with Joshua 22 and also Exodus 20. No, it was written before them.
It was actually it was written along with Joshua 20, not along with, but it was kind of in the same time period. But it was written well before Exodus.
Yeah.
Well before
Exodus.
So biblical illiteracy is the disease of atheism. I think biblical illiteracy is the disease of Christianity.
Yeah.
Because
Name me a single Christian who you've met who's read all of the Bible.
Rob Rowe. I have met one. Well, I've met I'm just talking about scholars here.
Right.
So Rob Rowe is part of Sentinel Apologetics, but their apologetics ministry, I guess, is specifically based on scholarship. It's not just apologetics from theology and just trying to excuse things. It's actually based on scholarship, and they're smart guys. I like those guys. So
But
they actually know what they're talking
not
about.
scholars, just Christians.
Not many.
I
Not
think
many at all.
Dallas,
Dallas, maybe.
maybe.
Maybe
I don't
this
even
guy,
know.
yeah.
Did
What about Justin from the hookah bar?
No.
Justin,
He's read the Bible.
I don't think so.
Yes, he has.
a lot of people claim
He
they've
doesn't
read
believe
the
in it.
Bible.
Okay, well,
He's a Christian, though.
How can you be a Christian
okay,
and not
let's-
believe in
let's
the
not-
Bible?
This is a bigger topic. No, from my experience, atheists understand the Bible and its history way better than Christians do.
Oh yeah, because we've bothered to actually look into
Yeah,
it.
the reason I know that I don't believe this book is because, first of all, I've read it. Second of all, I understand it better. I continuously read books on scholarship. That's what I do. That's my job.
And if you want the context of this law, as is being pointed out, the context of this law is this is a speech that Moses is giving after having wandered in the desert, after having escaped from Egypt,
Before
before
the
the
conquest of Canaan.
before the actual occupation of Canaan, right? This is the exact context of it.
And by the way, this section was written, this was the first part of Deuteronomy that was written. This was the law code presented to King Josiah.
You guys sound butthurt.
I'm just stating facts here.
Yeah.
Well, I meant in the comments that guy sounds butthurt.
Oh, okay. The chronology is incredibly relevant, actually. That's the big problem.
You know,
I am not.
yeah.
I'm not even gonna
If
talk
you
to
think
this
that
guy.
the chronology isn't relevant,
It is incredibly relevant. It is the only way to understand any book of the past, is to understand the chronology.
yeah.
Yeah. If you don't understand the time period in which it was written, you don't understand it at all.
I mean, basically, you're saying that there is no difference between war and peace and crime and punishment and devils. But it's all written by Dostoevsky, so, you know, the context doesn't really matter.
Nothing exists. It's all an illusion.
Oh my God, Chris.
Yeah, it's as dumb
Okay,
as that.
let's continue with
There you
the
go.
law
The
that
law.
is in the story given by Moses.
Which is our final chapter today.
Yes.
Deuteronomy 21.
Let's see.
You know, we're pretty close, actually,
Alright.
to the end now.
We are nearing the end.
Yeah, we've got
I only
13 chapters after
merge
21.
After dark has subscribed.
Who?
I only merge after dark.
I only merge after dark. Thank you for abandoning God.
Yeah, it was
Thank you.
very hard to read his name. It was all one word.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Right. Joshua is not part of the Torah. The Torah is the first 5 books.
Well, yeah.
Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, Deuteronomy.
All right.
Ready?
Yes. Where even was I? Then
You haven't started yet. Chapter
No,
21.
I started.
Chapter 21.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. If in the land that the Lord your God is giving you to
Yes, you
possess
read
someone,
this.
yes, someone's killed, you don't know who did it, then your elders and your judges shall come out, and they shall measure the distance to the surrounding cities, and the elders of the city that is nearest to the slain man shall take a heifer that has never been worked, and that has never pulled in a yoke. And the elders of that city shall bring the heifer down to a valley with running water, which is neither plowed nor sown, and shall break the heifer's neck there in the valley. Oh, this sounds good. Then the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come forward, for the Lord your God has chosen them to minister to him and to bless in the name of the Lord, and by their word every dispute and every assault shall be settled. And all the elders of that city nearest to the slain man shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the valley, and they shall testify, our hands did not shed this blood, nor did our eyes see it shed. Accept atonement, O Lord, for your people Israel, whom you have redeemed. And do not set the guilt of innocent blood in the midst of your people Israel, so that their blood guilt be atoned for. So you shall purge the guilt of innocent blood from your midst when you do what is right in the sight of the Lord. So here is something interesting.
Yeah.
They just kill a cow for no reason.
Well, it's a ritualistic sacrifice.
It is, but they don't even do anything with its blood. They kill it and then ask the Lord to forgive, anyone who could have possibly done it.
Right.
So that was I don't know if we've seen a ritual sacrifice in the Bible as of yet that is so minimalistic.
This is the most minimalistic.
Yes,
of
it is
all.
very, very basic. If there's an unsolved murder, you break a cow's neck, and then you say, "Sorry, God, please forgive us."
Yep.
Whoops! That's really dumb.
And he's like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. I don't
Alright.
really care.
When you go out to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God gives them into your hand, and you take them captive, and you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and you desire to take her to be your wife, and you bring her home to your house, she shall shave her head and par her nails? Or pare nails? I don't know, P-A-R-E?
Makes some
I don't know.
unplain.
And she shall take off the clothes in which she was captured, and shall remain in your house, and lament her father and her mother a full month. After that you may go into her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. But if you no longer delight in her, you shall let her go where she wants. But you shall not sell her for money, nor shall you treat her as a slave, since you have humiliated her. Well, that's kind of new.
Well, if you fuck her, then you can't sell her as a slave, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
But if you don't fuck her, then you can sell her as a slave.
No. If you... Oh, no. I think the way, at least the way I'm understanding this, is that you... If you do want her, then you fuck her and marry her.
Okay.
But if you don't, then you're... then you let her go.
Why
and
can't
don't
you
sell
sell this lady into slavery? You can sell
Because you were
anyone else
attracted to this lady.
okay.
Sentimental value, guys.
Oh, yeah. You can sell anyone else into slavery. Just not this lady that you're attracted to. Go on.
All right. If a man has 2 wives...
Didn't they
This is if a man has 2 wives. They just told you... didn't they say that's... You can't have that?
Yeah,
They literally...
That's wicked? They just said that was wicked.
Yeah, they just said that earlier.
last chapter.
Which is why I think that's actually a reference to incest, as opposed to...
Right. That might be it.
Right.
If a man has 2 wives, the one loved and the other unloved... and the other unloved, and both the loved and unloved have borne him children, and if the firstborn son belongs to the unloved, then on the day when he assigns his possessions as an inheritance to his sons, he may not treat the son of the loved as the firstborn in preference to the son of the unloved, who is the firstborn. Wow, okay. But he shall acknowledge the firstborn, the son of the unloved, by giving him a double portion of all that he has, for he is the first fruits of his strength. The right of the firstborn is his.
And Genesis, just to be clear, was written after this.
Yes, it was.
And it's definitely not what Abraham does.
Definitely not. Although it wasn't written, no, not yet. Although Genesis was written afterwards, they were relaying the stories that have probably been developing for quite a while not in ancient Israel, because that wasn't a thing. I guess for practical purposes, in ancient Israel, like before any kind of monarchy, like the people, the Israelites.
The Israelites, yes.
Yeah, they I'm sure had some sort of tradition, some sort of stories about their cultural heroes like Abraham and Moses and other people that we know didn't exist.
Well, then why wouldn't they change those stories over time to make them more in line with the law code that was presented?
Well, for Genesis specifically, it is just meant to be about something else. It's about more of a divine. It's more of a divine narrative.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the Torah is about Moses.
Yeah.
Effectively, it's a story about Moses.
Well, for the most part.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
There's definitely a few bits.
well, of course.
Yeah, that are more about Aaron.
Yeah.
Thanks to P.
Thanks to P.
That asshole.
26 right now.
Oh,
That's fantastic.
Welcome to the show, everyone.
Yes, that's a good amount of people for us.
Yeah. Continue.
All right. And this is the part that I titled the stream today after. If a man has a stubborn and rebellious son who will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, and though they discipline him, will not listen to them, then his father and his mother shall take hold of him and bring him out to the elders of the city at the gate of the place where he lives. And they shall say to the elders of this city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard.
Yeah.
Then all the men of the city shall stone him to death with stones. So you shall purge the evil from your midst, and all Israel shall hear and fear.
So conform. Yeah, conform. You gotta conform. If you don't conform, let's stone you to
Let's
death.
fucking kill you if you
Yeah.
don't listen to your father and mother.
Yep.
And remember, this is the law that is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
You know, they say all sins are equal in the eyes of the Lord. And they seem to prescribe stoning people to death.
Yeah, and when
a
God
lot of
says that he is the
things.
same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, presumably that would include the rules that he's giving to people.
Well, they
because
specifically
morality
say that you're
hasn't
supposed to
changed.
keep these statutes forever,
Yeah.
several times.
Yeah. So, you
The comment you're talking to?
no.
No.
But you should still be listening to this.
Yeah.
This is not overturned. Let's see. Now, this could be quote unquote overturned if you interpret it as this just being the laws for the Hebrews, but this doesn't say that it's just the laws for the Hebrews.
No, it says that they're
No,
statutes that you're supposed to keep forever.
There was when we first went over the Ten Commandments in Exodus, it said following the Ten Commandments, then it said that the rest of them are for the Hebrews, but
Well, that's insane, and there's no
but
actual evidence for that in the scripture that I've read so far.
no, it says that it's just for the Israelites right after the Ten Commandments when we first read them.
Right.
But that, at least in the context of the book, was not applying to Deuteronomy.
Right, that was not what was presented so far
Right.
in the 20 and a half chapters that we've gone through in Deuteronomy.
Yeah.
That is one line that was added in a book that was written much later by a different author.
Yeah. By different authors.
Different authors.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. So let's see. You kill your kid. And if a man has committed a crime punishable by death, and he is put to death, and you hang him on a tree, his body shall not remain all night on the tree, but you shall bury him in the same day, for a hanged man is cursed by God. You shall not defile your land that the Lord your God is giving you for an inheritance. So apparently, apparently bad guy on a tree curses your land or something. It defiles your land, which I don't really understand.
What verse is it specifically?
It's the final one, 23, 21, 23.
His body shall not remain all night upon the tree, but thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed of God. Okay, so basically it's because bodies rot, Lawrence.
Yes,
That's the
bodies
reason why they're telling you to bury the person you hanged on a tree. It's so that there isn't a rotting body out there attracting all sorts of disease.
Yeah, they're gross. They shit themselves and stuff.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
but
pretty
That
disgusting.
doesn't hurt your land, that hurts you.
Yeah,
Right, but
it hurts
I mean-
everyone who's there.
Nobody likes it, sure.
right.
Well, put it away.
Put it away, get rid of it.
And as for historical cults, Yahweh is a pre-Judaic god of war, who is a volcano god, who is married to Asherah, who is representative of the divine feminine, and is more of a Gaia or Mother Nature figure, which they totally pulled out of here because Judeo-Christianity is strictly the act of neutering spirituality to take all kind of sexuality out of their
maybe, I don't know.
conception of the world.
Well, he says
So shut up, I'm listening to Ruben here, and we have 32 viewers. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Fantastic.
Jeez, man.
All right, what were you saying before Chris interrupted?
Right, well, they go out of their way with the newer and newer versions of the Bible to bury the whole Asherah thing because they don't want people to know how much of a bullshit war god, volcano god that Yahweh is.
Right.
And
There's
and what they're doing essentially is neutering spirituality. They take the feminine aspect out of it. They take the sexual aspect of the male out of it as well. Yahweh is now a castrated god.
See, I don't know if it's necessarily if that was the original idea, the intent behind it. The intent though was let's worship a war god so we stop getting killed.
Right.
Let's worship him alone instead of with all these other gods.
Right, but the effect over time is that they completely neutered their faith.
Right, and what I think is on top of that is that it made the entire religion less interesting too.
Yeah.
Especially over time. Now, there are still those verses that contain hints of a polytheistic Israelite religion. Fuck. I don't know why I'm coughing so much.
Probably because I got you sick.
You may have gotten me sick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I forgot where I was going. Coughing fit.
Yeah.
Awful. I feel terrible.
That'll happen. I mean, we covered basically everything that we wanted to cover today. To all the new viewers, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome, one and all.
Welcome, new viewers. And
it doesn't matter if you're an atheist, a Christian, a Muslim, a
pagan or a
Scientologist,
Jew.
A heathen.
Well, it matters a little if you're a Scientologist.
No, we want the Scientologists. It's easiest to convince them.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. That easy prey.
But if you enjoy the
and
stream,
we have 32 viewers right now. That is the most viewers we've
that's a lot of
ever
viewers.
had, actually.
Wow.
Quick, go over to the other area.
Why
What?
would we do that?
You're breaking the mud up. It's the 5,000 special. Say
Oh,
hi to
okay.
everybody.
Oh, right. And
Go over there.
just to help you guys out a little bit, we are going to go over there, I guess, for 5,000 subscribers because
Just talk for about 10 minutes.
Chris got this idea. All right,
Done.
go over there.
Okay.
We're changing cameras.
If you insist.
I don't know why we're doing this.
I don't know why we're doing this. I don't know why we do anything that Chris
What
says.
are we doing?
Oh, I gotta get rid of that green screen effect. Wow.
I don't know what's going on. Hello, all. This is where we work.
This is where we work. It's a shit show. Welcome to the shit show.
Welcome to the shit show.
Ooh.
Here, show them the green screen set without the green screen.
Here's our
You can zoom in out a little.
zoom it out. Yeah,
There you go.
there you go. That's our setup. Happy
Oh, I'm in
Happy
happy 5,000
over here.
subscribers.
5,000.
There's Chris back there. He's with all the audio stuff
Yeah, we
in
got
the
all the
back.
equipment back here.
Yes.
It's all real cool. I mean, it's
Yes.
too expensive.
Don't show any of your union
Don't-
buddies the unprotected wires everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go sit back down though.
Yep.
Oh. Well, that was it. I was going to join you for like...
Oh no, you're not joining us. Change the camera view.
Oh, okay. I'll
Yeah.
that.
Although we're still.
Who needs to change the camera view?
I can put the green screen
We
back
can
up.
say,
Seconds.
You can do whatever. But that's the end of the stream for today, guys.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's all we had
Yeah,
for
that
you.
is all we had. Thank
I
you.
wanted to say some stuff.
Oh, you want to say?
Say some stuff. Say whatever you want.
Join
Yes.
us next time for the narcissist thing.
What?
Have it, I
Yeah.
swear.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna plan out a 5K subscriber special, and if you have ideas, please leave them in the comments. We read most comments.
We try.
Yeah, we try to read them. So leave your ideas for the special in the comments. But we have some stuff in the works. We're gonna try to get some people on. Hopefully, some people you know. Hopefully, some people you love. Shut up, Chris. So that's the end of the stream for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us.
And if you enjoyed the stream, you might enjoy the benefits of becoming a patron on our Patreon. Ah, what a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what a great thing.
Yep.
All right. Have a good night, guys. Good day.
Bye-bye.